the main goal of life that you want to achieve is the eternal peace within. To know the truth, you really have to be absorbed 100% in the truth. Baba Nanak ji have said very beautifully that Jin chakhya tin paya swad, the one who tasted knows the taste. One more reason for you to be deluded is that you believe your eyes. Without judging anything outside that has happened to you, you are here to realize your own truth inside you and come to a peace within. And that is the purpose of the soul that you are seeking. When we talk about the main goal of life or the purpose, what am I here for? What do I want to achieve? In the core of everything, no matter what your purpose is or what you're trying to do or what you have achieved, the inner goal, like the soul of everything that you want to achieve is the eternal peace within. So you are very peacefully sitting in your own company without having to seek any attention from others or validation from your partner or from anyone else other than you. When we look deeply inside the peace, that what is it that I am not able to achieve, that permanent state of peace within me. And when we go into the deeper philosophical mode and we try to dissect layer by layer, peel by peel, we are peeling off our own antahkarana, the inner world. Basically, when we know that everything that is here right now has one origin that we call a source or Paramatma. Everything have originated from Paramatma or one seed, the Paramatattva. And if we are coming from the same seed, yet we are separated from that. And when we are separated, what comes to us? Naturally, what comes to us is what is not the truth. The great law of incarnation, or when we take this body, we start identifying ourselves with the outer world first. And from there on, you start identifying yourself in connection to the material world. And that is where the great reason of your suffering is lying, which is called ignorance or Avidya. Avidya, which is not true. Take an example. So if you are going on the hill, to have a 360-degree view of that cliff, of the tip of the mountain, till you reach on the tip of a mountain, you cannot claim that you know 360 degrees. That is when you can 100% say that you have 360 degrees view, because now you are the new tip. And to experience that, you have to be the new tip of that mountain. You and mountain cannot remain separated. Similarly, to know the truth, you really have to be absorbed 100% in the truth. Until you have experienced your own taste, you cannot experience. And Baba Nanak ji have said very beautifully that Jin chakhya tin paya swad, the one who tasted knows the taste, and only they know the taste, and it cannot be defined or explained to any other person. With this avidya or a delusion, the person start telling others out of their own egoism or I-ness or identities that they know the truth, and then they like to define others. Once again, out of this ignorance, how ignorance spreads. People say, oh, I have heard from my own ears. I have seen the truth from my own eyes. That is again a very ignorant statement, that can you actually see the truth from your eyes and hear the truth from your ears? The answer is absolutely not. Essentially, you are making up your own story inside you, which is based on your past samskaras, past psychic impressions, or you can say unresolved traumas or your life experiences. It has nothing to do with what is happening out there. Similarly, when you are seeing something, you are seeing somebody doing something and you say, I have seen the truth with my own eyes. Maybe ask the other person. The other person is doing something based on some helplessness, or there is a story behind that action. That is why that action is happening. But when you see something, you are only seeing one part in front of you. You don't have access to the back end story of that. So based on what you have seen, you come to a conclusion that I have seen the truth from my own eyes. Whereas one more reason for you to be deluded is that you believe your eyes. Whereas your eyes are only capturing the scene, and that scene is actually stimulating again the story that is hidden in your mind or in your subtle bodies based on your samskaras or past life experiences. So when we start explaining to what we have seen, again, you are trying to tell your version of the story. And that has nothing to do with what has happened there. You do not have access to the other person's stories, their past life experiences, their psychic impressions, their samskaras. That scene outside that you have just seen, so-called your truth, is actually about what you are carrying inside. You have seen that something happens outside and how it triggers you, right? You start behaving in certain way, you start talking in certain way, you start perceiving things in certain way. So the outer stories are only the channels of information to yourself. How you process that information is based on your story in the past. So when you are trying to identify the reality of it, it is not possible that you can say that I know 100% about that person. You can only come to conclusion that you only know yourself, your own past life stories, your own explanation of the facts. If we take an example of, let us say there is a sphere or a ball, which is 360 degrees in all these multi-dimensions, and you only have heard about a part of the story, right? So by hearing that part, which is, let us say, 2% or 5% of that, when you are saying the same thing to the other person, you are speaking as if you know the 360 degrees. And based on that, the other person perceives as per their past sanskaras, and whatever you told them, out of that, the person will only understand maybe 5-10%, and to the fourth person, that person will try to explain as then they know the 360 degrees. And this is how the gossips starts, this is how the lies starts, and this is how the ignorance starts. So, and with that ignorance, the very basic, like the soul of all the miseries, all the pains, all the sufferings that we feel in this world, that we face in this world, is out of the ignorance. We think we know the truth, and only later part in the life, when the person has gone old and all that, there is no truth, only to find out that you were so wrong in your dealings in the past. Imagine something you realize at the age of 50 or 60 years, how you reacted at the age of 20 or 25, right? You were so angry, you were disappointed, your heart was broken, it hurt you really. And then you spoke to so many people, you try to cancel these people. You call their friends and try to cancel this person in their eyes. Only later part in your life realize that, oh my God, I was so immature. But at that time, you were 100% convinced that that was the best time, that is the best action you could take, only to realize later on your own stupidities. Right? So the question then comes is, what is true? If now what you are realizing is truth after so much experience, then what was that? And if that was a truth, then what is this now? In reality, the truth is independent of any stage of life you are in, any stories that you are weaving, any understanding you are coming. The truth is absolutely the whole system of that, or ecosystem, unless you come out of the whole situation and see it from the bird's eye, and also try to see the other person's perspectives. then only you can realize the truth, and that is only within you, with all the research and angles, and try to come to a conclusion, and that truth will sit within you, and again you cannot explain to anyone. So coming back to the real reason for our misery is your ignorance, avidya. We think we know, but we do not know. Okay? If you come to this point, then you have already crossed two stages that you don't know that you do not know. So whatever comes to you, you start absorbing like a small child. You do not know that you do not know, like a complete ignorant person. And it is very easy to train them as a little child is growing up, is getting more information, the mind is expanding. So from the first stage, the transformation happens when you become so-called adults and you think you know, but you do not know. And you start saying to people that, look, I know this, I know this. So this egoism comes in, that I know, identification, I am the one, I am the doer, I know it, I am better than you. This I-ness starts coming out of that. Right? And with that I-ness, you start absorbing all that information. You start claiming things that actually you have no control. You become very possessive. The attachments develop. My body, my life, my relationships, my jobs, my possessions, my house, my car, my business, my money, my. And you see where it is going just out of ignorance. Your ego has been boosted. And with that ego, you try to possess things, which is attachment, okay? We call it as a rag. And you are so attached to those things that you don't want to lose them. So you try to hold them very, very tight. And when the time takes them away, you become so angry on that, the dveshas. You don't want to accept that nothing is in your control. You don't want to. You want to be seen as that you are in control of everything that is happening. The great delusion, you are the one that is controlling things. You are the one that is responsible for so many things. You are the one who's looking after everything. You are the one who is directing everything around you. And when the time, the kala, wants to take that away, you become angry. You cannot take the pain, because pain is what? When you are not in acceptance of what life is taking away from you. If your partner is not loving you, you can't take that, because so-called you love your partner and the partner must love you, and there is happy life ever after, which doesn't happen. But out of the ego, you become so selfish that you become so angry now, all out of ignorance. And what is the underlying reason for you to be angry? Because somewhere you don't want that to end. That is called abhinivesh. There's a fear of death. Everything is the death. You can't take that because you don't want to die. You as in your situation. All this is coming out of the ignorance that I am not the body, I am the soul. But here you are saying, I am the body. I am identifying myself with the body, like a male body or a female body or a politician or a doctor or a powerful person, and all that kind of things out of ignorance. When we lose that connection from our source, first thing that hits is avidya. And remember, friends, what is separated can be perceived with your sense organs. And if your sense organs are perceiving, please know that it is not the truth. You cannot perceive the truth from your sense organs. You can only perceive your own inner story of the past through your sense organs. Other things that are happening outside is just triggering you. They are just the switch on and switch off button. But the machine is inside. Take an example. If you have eyes and eyes see something, they send a signal to so-called your brain, and your brain is processing the information from your memory bank and telling you through your knowledge and mind that this is what it is, right? Imagine the mind or brain is missing, someone brain dead. The eyes are open, but they can't see. If your mind is not activated, there is no intellect in there, you can't see it, you go blind. Some people sleep with the open eyes because the brain or a mind is completely in the sleeping mode. Ears go deaf if you don't put your attention to the sound. It is not that the sound is not existing, it is because your mind is processing something else. And based on what you see, what you hear, you think you know the truth. The height of delusion. You are deluded. So my request to you is, when you hear something, when you see something, please do not start claiming that you know the truth. You have no idea what is gone behind the scenes, how much that person who's doing something, how much he has suffered or she has suffered, what is their childhood, what was their childhood like, what traumas they are carrying. You can only conclude about you, how many traumas you are carrying, the unresolved past you are carrying, the samskaras, the psychic impressions you are carrying. You are here to realize your own truth inside you and come to a peace within. And that is the purpose of the soul that you are seeking. So try to sit with yourself without judging anything outside that has happened to you, what people have told about you, what you have seen, what life has shown you. Everything is about how many stories you are storing and how many stories got triggered by outside stimulus. Because this is about your peace of mind, about your life journey. It is never about outside. It is never about anyone else. It is never about anything that is outside you. It's always about you. And if you are not sitting peacefully in your life, if you have a pain, if you're carrying pain from the past or hurt from the past, remember that all of that is because of the ignorance. Ignorance have given you ego. Ego have given you sufferings. Sufferings, ego have given you attachments. Attachments have given you anger and delusion and possessiveness, because you do not know how to accept life as it is coming to you. So work on yourself, get your facts right, sit with yourself, get to an understanding within yourself, and come out of miseries and sufferings of life. That's all my message is. Om Namo Narayan, and bless you.